To sew the darts, I'm going to start by cutting out my little pattern piece here, and I'm marking the darts onto the wrong side of the fabric. So when I've cut it out, I'm cutting it out on the right side of the fabric, and then I flip it over, and I have gone ahead and marked it, but here is the wrong side of the fabric. You'll notice a little dot here and a little dot here. Those are the dart points. Usually when I mark darts, I actually mark them 1/2 inch up. In this case, it's okay for us to just mark the points because it'll be easier for me to show you how to sew it. The other things that I've marked is this leg of the dart and this leg of the dart, this leg and this leg. I've marked them with white here so you can see it on the camera, but usually what I do is I just clip the edge, so you'll notice there's a little clip. The next thing I'll do is I will be folding this right sides together, and I am connecting, I'm lining up my 2 legs of the dart, this leg and this leg, and I am folding it so that it goes through the point of the dart. So line those up so that I've got a nice straight line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press, before I start sewing, only up to the dart point. I'm not going beyond, so that if I open this up, you'll notice it doesn't get pressed down here beyond that point. That's important. You don't want to accidentally press beyond this. Only press to the point. If anything, press a little bit shy. Just do that to both of the darts. I'm having you do 2 just so that you have the practice. Just like that. And we're ready to go sew. Remember, this is the wrong side of the fabric that these are getting crimped into. To sew a dart, what we're going to do is begin at this point here. We never start at the point. We always start at the edge. We're going to sew from here up to a point. Well, we're going to be sewing all the way to this point eventually, but we don't want to just go from straight from here to here because it makes it hard not to come too far out to the edge, a little bit too far away from the point, which will create puckers on the outside of the garment. So what we're going to do is I am going to imagine a point 1/2 inch up from the dart point, and I'm going to start sewing back here and aim for a point 1/2 inch up from the dart point. That's where I'm going to aim. But before I actually get to this point, I'm actually going to stop an additional 1/2 inch up from there. So imagine 1 inch up from the dart point is where I'm going to be stopping sewing. So I'm going to come from here down to about 1 inch away from the dart point, but I'm not aiming at the dart point. I'm aiming at a point 1/2 inch up. If you need to draw lines on your fabric to help you with this, that's fine. But first, I'm going to start here. Make sure you backstitch. Here's my dart point. I'm going to aim at a point right here. If you want, you can do all of this. You can draw all of this on. Notice that I stopped 1/2 inch before I got to this point. Now what I'm going to do is I will pivot, and I'm now going to aim at the dart point. And I'm going to get to the point where all I'm doing is catching just the tiniest threads with the needle by the time that I get to the dart point. If you need to use the wheel on your machine to help you do that, that's fine. But notice while my needle is down right here at the dart point, I am only picking up just a few of the threads. Notice that I did not backstitch. I don't want to backstitch because I could create puckers in this area. So instead, what I'm going to do is tie a square knot. So notice that right here, there's just a slight curve. So it comes down here, and then there's this slight curve as it sweeps off the edge of the fabric. You really want to make sure that you're sweeping off the edge of the fabric so that it gets really smooth right there. Separate your two strings. Make sure you've given yourself enough thread, to be able to do a square knot. And to do a square knot, you're going to take your right thread, put it over your left thread, and pull it through. Take that down till it's snug. And then you're going to take your left thread over the top of your right thread and bring it down. If you don't do it in that way, you'll get a granny knot, and then the knot will potentially come out. Once I've done a square knot, I can trim them down so that they're about 1/4 inch in length, and my dart is sewn. Now I need to go back and press it. So I'm going to finish sewing this one, and then we'll go press it. I'm going to be pressing the darts. In order to press the darts, you're going to use something called a ham. You can't really see it very well in the monitor, but I don't want to resize it all that much because then I'd have to refocus. But this is what a ham looks like. It's in the shape of a hand, and it is basically just a round shape that's full of sawdust and usually has wool on the outside of it. From the wrong side of the fabric, this allows me to press curves by using a ham. So you can see how the dart formed a shape, and by placing it on the ham, I can come in here and press my darts one direction on the curve of the ham. I'm just going to press both of these the same direction. Technically I could press these either way because I don't have like a center front or a center back that I'm pressing to them to. As a general rule, we always press darts towards center front or towards center back. That is a rule, and if you want to know more about that, we can talk about it in class. But there are my darts.